As you can see, my entire deck is turned gray due to the outdoor elements. Decks will vary in building materials. This deck is constructed of cedar. I will wash and then treat the wood with a stain which will seal it against the elements and bring it back to a presentable appearance. Begin by removing all items from the deck. Be sure to remove or cover items underneath as well. Inspect the entire deck for damage. Repairs should be made before starting this project. Sweep the entire deck, the floor and the rails, inside and out. Once swept, fill a pump sprayer with your choice of commercial deck cleaner. Apply liberally to all wood surfaces that you want to treat, the floor, as well as the inside and outside of the wood on the railing. Let the cleaner stand for 10 minutes. Then rinse with cold water by using a nozzle on the end of a garden hose. You may also choose to repeat this process using the wash a second time and using a scrub brush if needed. When power washing the deck, use the lowest pressure possible that will give you the desired effect. Some suggest 600 to 700 psi for softwood and harder wood up to 1400 psi. The force of the water is really regulated by the tip selection and distance between the nozzle and the wood being sprayed. I would suggest using a tip that will fan the water at a 40-degree angle. Once the tip is attached, I like to start power washing the outside of the deck first. Keep the spray tip a distance of 6 to 12 inches from the wood surfaces. You can easily damage the wood if you have the tip too close. When power washing vertical structures, it is recommended to sweep in the direction from the top to the bottom. I also recommend doing the most difficult and tedious areas first, which is why I always start on the outside of the deck. Power washing can be very fatiguing. It can also be very dangerous when standing on a ladder. It's definitely a good idea to recruit help and to take frequent breaks. Once the outside of the deck has been power washed, move to the inside. I like to start with the rails and work my way to the floor. And finally, once the deck has been completely power washed, allow the deck to dry for at least 48 hours. When choosing a finish, research the various products that are recommended for your deck. I'm using a wood preservative that has a cedar tone natural color stain. I will apply it using a brush that is rated for oil-based products. Use a tarp or plastic to cover all area underneath the deck. The preservative will stain anything it comes in contact with, including concrete. I prefer starting the staining process on top of the deck, doing the railing first. Apply a liberal amount of stain. Overlap as you go along, allowing the stain to permeate the wood. If you desire to do a second coat, you must only do so on top of the first coat when it's still sticky or wet. If you allow the first coat to dry before adding the second coat will peel. In other words, application should always be wet on wet, not wet on dry. Once the railing is done, I can now start on the floor. I like to start in a corner. I will work my way to the entrance of the house. That way I literally don't paint myself into a corner. Continue applying until the whole deck has been done, the inside and the outside. And finally, allow the deck to dry for at least 48 hours before using.